Cancer, the 1st of September, 2025 won't be the day the universe presents you with a bill you didn't even know was being calculated. A bill for the years you wasted, trying to find security in places that were never meant for you. For the times you withdrew, keeping silent so as not to bother people who never deserved that consideration. For the pure Cancer energy you've given to situations, people, and environments that only drained your emotions without giving anything genuine in return. Right now, as you watch this video, an invisible force is conducting a complete audit of your life, examining every relationship where you made yourself smaller, every job where you hid your keen intuition, every situation where you pretended to be content when in fact you were dying inside. And on the 1st of September, this audit will be presented to you in a way that will be impossible to ignore or deny. Not as a punishment, but as an ultimatum. Stop wasting who you are, or forever lose the chance to become who you were meant to be. Have you felt lately that strange sensation of living a life that doesn't reflect who you truly are? As if you've spent too much time wearing masks that don't belong to you, playing roles that were never written for your soul. Deep down, your true self pulses, strong, demanding to be released. And this inner calling can no longer be muffled by the noise of routine or the limits others have placed upon you. No, this isn't weakness. It's not confusion, much less a senseless crisis. It's your essence awakening. It's the calling of your Cancer soul, announcing an inner revolution that cannot be contained. On the 1st of September, a milestone looms before you. The opportunity to break once and for all with everything that diminishes your greatness. What I'm about to reveal will shock you because it goes against everything you've been taught about selflessness, adaptation, and being a good person. For years, you've been conditioned to believe that being overly sensitive, overly caring, or overly emotionally dependent was a negative thing, that you should shrink yourself to avoid bothering others, that you should hide your natural nurturing instinct to be accepted, and you bought into this lie. You accepted living as a diminished version of yourself, believing this was a virtue when in fact it was self-sabotage. On the 1st of September, 2025, this lie will be shattered. You will be confronted with incontrovertible evidence that by trying to be humble and adequate, you not only betrayed your own essence, but also deprived the world of all that your natural greatness could have created. How many people could have been healed by your empathy if you hadn't hidden it? How many safe havens could have existed if you weren't afraid to stand up for your values? How many lives could have been touched by your care if you deliberately lacked emotional depth? The reckoning the universe will present on the 1st of September isn't about what you did wrong. It's about what you didn't do right for yourself. It's about wasted potential. It's about the Cancer energy you've buried beneath layers of social conformity. It's about the natural caregiver you are pretending to be cared for. It's about the natural creator of safe spaces you are content to be just a passive observer. It's about the inspirer within you, living as if you were just one of the crowd. And when that bill comes your way, you won't be able to run from it, deny it, or postpone it, because it will be presented through real circumstances in your life. Opportunities that will require you to choose between remaining small and safe, or finally embracing your natural greatness and all the risks that come with it. People will appear in your life who will see through all your attempts to diminish yourself and will challenge you to be who you truly are. Situations will arise where pretending to be ordinary will no longer be a viable option. The radical changes of the 1st of September will force you to confront how you've wasted your natural, intuitive power in environments that never valued this quality. The revolution will be about fully embracing your emotional depth and resilience instead of keeping it safe and controlled. The day will mark the end of the era where you were content with mere admiration, forcing you to use your natural compassion and creativity to impact the world in meaningful ways. But all cancers will experience the same thing: the complete collapse of all the excuses they use to avoid living up to their full potential. The 1st of September will act as a cosmic mirror, reflecting not who you are now, but who you could have been if you had never accepted less. And this vision will be simultaneously devastating and motivating. Devastating because it will show you how much time you've wasted. Motivating because it will show you how much power still resides within you, waiting to be unleashed. Cancer, there's a brutal truth I need to share. You've been actively contributing to your own diminishment, not because you're weak or lack potential, but because somewhere deep down, you believe you don't deserve to live an extraordinary life, that it would be selfish or arrogant to completely embrace your natural power, that it would be unfair to others to shine as brightly as you are capable. This belief has kept you trapped in a version of yourself that is safe, predictable, acceptable to everyone except your own soul. And your soul is tired of waiting. It's tired of watching you waste opportunities, settle for mediocrity, and accept situations that are far below what you deserve and are capable of creating. On the 1st of September, it will rebel. It will force radical changes that you've been avoiding because you were afraid of the consequences. The rebellion of your own essence will be relentless. It will disrupt relationships where you've always been the one giving in. It will explode professional situations where you've been content with insufficient emotional recognition. It will destroy life arrangements that work for everyone but you. And it will do all this not to punish you, but to free you from a prison you built with your own hands. What haunts me most about what will happen on the 1st of September is the speed with which it will all unfold. It won't be a gradual process that you can control or moderate. It will be an instantaneous explosion of authenticity that will crack the carefully controlled surface of your life and let your true nature spill out. And once that happens, there will be no turning back. Some people will be repelled because they're used to having access to your emotional support without having to give anything real in return. Others will be magnetically drawn because they'll finally see who you truly are beneath all the layers of social adaptation. And you'll discover that the people who truly matter have always been waiting to meet this authentic version of you. Also, pay attention to moments when you feel inexplicable irritation with your own passivity. When you catch yourself accepting something you shouldn't, agreeing to something that contradicts your values, or being polite when you should be setting firm boundaries. This irritation is healthy. It's a sign that your true nature is awakening and rejecting the patterns of submission you've normalized. The 1st of September will mark the moment you stop asking permission to be extraordinary. You'll stop apologizing for being sensitive, intuitive, and nurturing. You'll stop dimming your light to accommodate other people's insecurities. The radical change that's coming isn't about becoming someone different. It's about you finally stopping pretending to be someone you've never been. For years, you've probably accumulated a mental list of all the reasons why you can't be completely yourself, responsibilities that prevent you from expressing yourself fully, people who might turn away if you're too authentic, social, or professional consequences of showing your true power. On the 1st of September, you'll discover that all these reasons were just fears disguised as logic, and that the cost of continuing to limit yourself by these fears has become greater than any consequence of finally breaking free. The radical shift that will occur will touch every area of your life, because it will fundamentally change how you relate to your own power. Instead of fearing your impact on others, you will embrace your ability to influence and inspire. Instead of settling for secondary roles, you will naturally assume positions of support and caregiving. Instead of downplaying your achievements and talents, you will openly celebrate them. Cancer, one of the most shocking revelations of the 1st of September, will be discovering how many incredible opportunities you've unconsciously rejected because they required you to shine brighter than you felt comfortable with. How many times you've sabotaged your own success because you were afraid of being too much for the people around you. How many times you've chosen to stay small to maintain relationships that in reality only worked as long as you remained small. This discovery will be difficult because it will reveal how much you've collaborated with your own limitations. But it will also be liberating because it will reveal that all the power you need to transform your life has always been available. You just chose not to use it. On the 1st of September, that choice will no longer be available. Circumstances will conspire to force you to use your full power whether you feel ready or not. Radical change will begin with an event or discovery that will break your tolerance for mediocre situations. Something will happen that will make you realize with brutal clarity how much you've been settling for less than you deserve. And this realization will trigger a cascading series of changes that will reconfigure your entire life in a matter of weeks. You may try to resist initially because radical change is scary even when it's positive. You may try to bargain with the universe, promising to make small, gradual adjustments instead of accepting the complete transformation it's offering. But the force moving through the 1st of September doesn't negotiate. It doesn't accept half measures. It isn't content with marginal improvements. It demands total revolution. And here's what will surprise you. When you finally stop resisting and fully surrender to radical change, you'll discover that this was what your heart desired all along. That all the anxiety you felt in your ordinary life was because you were forcing your massive Cancer energy into spaces too small to contain it. It was like trying to fit a king crab into a tiny seashell, functionally impossible and cruelly limiting. The caution you need to take with the 1st of September isn't about avoiding change. It's about being prepared to fully embrace it when it arrives. Because if you try to resist or control it, the process will be much more turbulent than it needs to be. But if you recognize that these radical changes are the universe finally giving you permission to be who you were always meant to be, the transformation can be powerful without being destructive. Notice which environments allow your Cancer personality to flow naturally and which require you to hold back. Pay attention to which people celebrate your greatness and which try to diminish it. These observations will give you valuable clues about which areas of your life align with who you truly are and which will need a complete overhaul. Also, notice your moments of frustration and impatience. When do you feel irritated because you're not being properly recognized emotionally? When do you feel like yelling because you're being underestimated? When do you feel the urge to simply walk away from situations that don't honor your worth? These moments aren't signs of an inflated ego. They're signs of a healthy Cancer soul that's tired of being treated as ordinary when it's extraordinary. Cancer. One of the most painful things the 1st of September will reveal is how many times you betrayed your own greatness to maintain relationships with people who were never capable of handling you at your full potential. People who only felt comfortable with you when you were low, insecure, and doubting your own worth. You may have mistaken this pattern for love or friendship, but it was manipulation in disguise. The radical change that's coming will force these toxic dynamics to fully reveal themselves. The people who truly care about you will support your transformation and celebrate your awakening. even if it means changing the way you relate to each other. Those who try to convince you to return to the smaller version of yourself will show that they were never interested in who you really are, only in the role you played for them. The most shocking revelation may be discovering that some people around you actively invested in keeping you small, that they knew your potential but were afraid you'd discover it and no longer need them, that your modesty and self-doubt weren't traits they admired, but weaknesses they exploited to maintain control over you. On the 1st of September, you'll not only see these dynamics clearly, but you'll also develop a healthy revolt against them. The universe is preparing a revolution in your life because you've reached the limit of your ability to live as a diminished version of yourself. Like when a volcano builds up pressure for so long that it finally has to explode. The explosion isn't optional, it's inevitable. And when it happens, it will remove everything that's preventing your full expression and create space for a life that finally makes sense of who you truly are. Cancer. The caution you need to take isn't about trying to avoid radical changes. It's about being mentally and emotionally prepared for the fact that your life will become unrecognizable after the 1st of September. People who knew the old you may be disoriented. Some may try to convince you that you've changed in a negative way. In fact, you haven't, Bruce. You've finally stopped pretending to be someone you're not. The transformation will affect how you dress, how you speak, how you move through the world, how you make decisions, how you set boundaries. Everything will become an expression of your Cancer authenticity rather than a calculated performance to please others. And this can be intense for people who are used to the controlled version of you. Prepare to discover that you have talents and abilities that have been completely dormant, intuitive capabilities you've never tested, nurturing power you've never explored, personal sensitivity you've always kept contained. On the 1st of September, these abilities will begin to awaken and demand expression, not as a gradual development, but as a sudden burst of realized potential. What will surprise you most is how much easier life will become when you stop fighting your own nature. Opportunities will begin to flow naturally because you'll finally be vibrating at the frequency that attracts experiences suited to your true level of capacity. People will be naturally drawn into your orbit because you'll radiate the confidence and authenticity that are magnets for genuine connections. You may feel moments of panic when you imagine the changes that are coming. Your mind will try to convince you that it's safer to stay the way you are, even if you're not happy. It will remind you of all the risks of becoming who you really are. It will make you believe that you don't have the capacity to handle a bigger life. Don't believe these voices. They represent the part of you that has been conditioned to fear your own power. The part that has learned that being small is safer, even if it's more painful. The part that prefers the prison of the known to the freedom of the unknown. On the 1st of September, this part will definitively lose the battle against your true essence. The radical change that's coming will teach you something fundamental about courage. You'll discover that true courage isn't about being fearless. It's about being afraid and choosing greatness anyway. It's about accepting that living as your true self will always be riskier than living as a fake version, but that the risks are worth it compared to the cost of wasting your life in mediocrity. At the end of the 1st of September, when the dust of transformation settles, you'll look in the mirror and see something you haven't seen in years: yourself. Not the edited, adapted, diminished version you've been presenting to the world. The real you, powerful, radiant, unapologetic, unmasked. And in that moment, you'll understand that all the radical changes, all the turmoil, all the discomfort were worth it to reach this point of total authenticity. If this message touched something deep within you, if you recognize patterns in your own life, If you felt a mix of fear and excitement about the possibilities that are opening up, share it in the comments. You don't need to give specific details, but your reflections can help other Cancers prepare for their own inner revolutions. Subscribe to the channel because what will happen on the 1st of September is just the beginning of a completely new era in your life. You'll need guidance on how to integrate your new reality, how to deal with the reactions of people who preferred the old version of you, how to use your newly unleashed power constructively, the metamorphosis. Radical changes are already underway, and you have a choice. You can try to resist and make the process more difficult for yourself, or you can consciously prepare for the transformation and allow it to lead you to the level of life that has always been yours by right. I know you already know which choice you will make. Your Cancer heart was not made for mediocrity. It was made for magnificence.